I mean, you say you are dating someone for 5 years. What are you doing? Did you have a goal? You need to have a goal. You need to have a plan. Just have a plan. And I normally tell people, every time you're dating somebody, the key thing here is for you to be able to balance. Because you need that job, you need that career, you're in school, and also you need your marriage. Let me tell you something. Between your marriage and your career, I would say you need to work more for your marriage than your career. Because
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining, and a special thank you to all the new subscribers. Wow, I cannot believe how many new members have joined this channel. Thank you and a special welcome. Today we have a guest. I'm sure some of you have seen this face here before, and I will let him introduce himself once again for those people who have never seen him, for the visitors and the new subscribers. So, introduce yourself.
thank you so much. I'm so much happy to be invited here once again, and I'm so much excited to be in this channel. We are always working together to bring you content that will be able to inspire you, encourage you. My names are Bosco Muasa Mutiso, and I'm a pastor. I also do community work, and that's what I do. I also do content creation, and you'll be seeing some of my work. I know that you'll be able to see it later on. Thank you so much.
Oh, welcome once again. Thank you for being with us here for this segment. So we are looking to gain insights about relationships once again, but we are interested in how to get a relationship from dating to marriage. Interesting, right? Yes, it's going to be so interesting. So make sure you watch until the very end so that you don't miss anything. So in today's climate, most of you, or even some of you, are convinced that marriage is no longer a priority for this generation. Or you have witnessed failed relationships through your parents or close family members. But do not lose hope, because there are plenty of people out there who are serious about having a long-lasting relationship with an end goal of marriage. However, don't forget that it all begins at the dating stage. So stay tuned and watch until the end. So let us turn to our guest, because he has more experience in this area, given that he has been married for quite some time and has built a family with his wife. So Pastor Bosco, could you kindly tell us how long you have been married and explain to us how you met?
Thank you so much, and I believe one of the days you'll host me with my wife.
Of course.
So that she can also speak.
Definitely.
Yeah, I've been married for the last 17 years, and we have been blessed with 3 children, and we are so happy in our marriage. But this does not mean that we don't face challenges. We do face challenges, but I'll be sharing with you here some of the things that have helped me to be able to progress well in my marriage. Yeah, so how I met my wife, we met at the church, definitely, because I became a pastor when I was quite a little bit young. I was around 21. So when I finished my high school, I knew what I wanted to do. There are 2 things I wanted to do. I wanted to do mass communication, and I also wanted to serve. And so immediately I proceeded to the theological school, and I went and did my diploma in theology in a Baptist theological school. And then later on, I went to St. Paul's University, where I did my Bachelor's of Divinity. And so much of my life has been in the church. And so I met my wife at the church, and we started courting there at the church. At that time, I was a youth pastor, and my wife was actually serving in a Sunday school. And the youth pastor was in charge of the Sunday school ministry. So you can see the connection.
Yeah.
So it was very easy to get connected to her.
And you can see you also wanted to do mass communication with your channel, so it's
Yes.
going hand in hand.
Yeah, actually, this is something that I've wanted to do initially, but now it's coming out. I've been serving, but I'm also feeling that I can still be able to blend them and see how do I blend ministry and also bring content.
Yeah.
And especially because nowadays I don't want to limit myself to the congregant that I serve. or the community work that I do, I want to make sure that I put content out there that is going to reach out to every person.
That's really, really good. It's a very good story. So where did you meet your significant other? You can tell us down here. Did you meet at the church? So
Yes.
have you noticed any dating differences in regards to this generation and the previous generations in terms of dating experience? Have you noticed any differences?
Yes, there's a big differences because I've told you that I've been married for the last 17 years, and there's a big difference. And we met at the church, so definitely as a pastor, I had to make sure that I am able to court her in ways that are of God. And so I think being saved, being a pastor was an advantage, and even at some point, and still also disadvantage a little bit. And let me share with you something. That time I was serving as a youth pastor, and I had my senior pastor. And I remember I began attracted to my wife because I noticed she loved ministry. And again, as a pastor, I was looking for someone who would be able to support me. Not necessarily for her to be a pastor, because I normally say that I'm the one who is called to serve, and then she comes and supports me. So basically, we met at the church and we started seeing each other, and most of it was just doing ministry together. But I loved the way she was doing the ministry, and from there we began talking and just engaging with one another. And then at some point I felt, I think you can be a future mate. We'll talk, just make fun. And she didn't say yes the first time. I remember I asked her like 4 times. She kept on saying no. And sometimes I will even feel like I've done something bad, because remember, I'm a youth pastor. And I'm also wondering, what is this lady going to think about me? So the conversation just began like that, and then it went on. And for me, it was very easy because we would meet at church events. So whenever there's an event, it was very easy for us to interact. We have taken the Sunday school out somewhere, and then we'll just hang around, talk. And that one gave us an opportunity to get to know each other. So that is how basically it began.
So what's the difference between your time, how you dated, and this generation? This generation, I'm sure you've seen, or you have an idea. Have you noticed any difference, or it's just the same?
Okay, there is a big difference because during our times, we didn't have phones. That time we used to write good letters. You would write a letter properly and make sure that there is no grammatical errors. You could express yourself through the letter, and then this letter would reach to your lover or someone, your girlfriend by that time, depending on where they were. If they were very far, you'd post the letter. If they were very near, you'll have someone that you know, they will drop the letter, and then you make sure that some people went to an extent of even putting some smelly nice perfume to make sure. And then even others did like this. You do a letter, and then you'll have someone who knows how to draw, what do you call it, architecture, and then that person will draw a love sign, and then put an arrow properly, so that when that lady opens the letter, they're able to be pleased. So one of the differences is that during our times we were doing letters. Nowadays there's a lot of doing SMSs, chats, that kind of thing. So there's a big difference when I compare during our times. Number 2, during our times, we would spend more time. You will spend more time with someone one-on-one. Like you will say you're meeting at a particular point, and then you will be able to talk. Nowadays, there's a little bit of change because people will do it over a video call or through WhatsApp, through Facebook, and so there's no one-on-one. And that one may have some challenges because if you're not, and someone is on the other side through a video, you may not be able to get to see more about that person. So that is the differences. But again, we appreciate it because things are changing very fast.
So you're saying that someone being on the other side of the phone, what about these people who are in long distance relationships?
Long distance relationships are not bad. Some of them are caused by some distance because someone is working from very far. Now for the long distance relationship, for me, you have to work extra hard.
Extra hard, of course.
You have to work extra hard. Number 2, there must be an aspect of faithfulness and trust. And it is not for one person, it's both of you. So whoever is on the other side, they have to make sure at least they know you are at itinerary or what you're doing every day.
Of course,
now you don't have to guess, like you're calling that person and they're not available, and then the next thing, a call just begins from there. I was calling you, didn't pick my call. But if they get to know this is the time I'm working, this time I'm available, such kind of thing. So it can work, but that one needs a lot of extra work for you to be able to maintain it.
Impatience.
Yeah, impatient, yeah.
Yeah. So should someone date many partners before seeking a marital partner so as to get an understanding of themselves and others, or what? What do you think?
Okay, let me give an example with myself. Myself, I never did that because there are people who do that, and each of the persons have got their own reason.
Yeah.
Like I've said, being a setting of being a pastor and a Christian, that is something that we don't encourage because chances of messing up are very high. Because and then chances of an unfaithfulness, because you'll find if you're dating multiple partners, each partner wants a kind of a commitment, and that commitment may cost you some things, and it can be a bit expensive. Like if you're dating like 5 people, definitely you'll have to keep on shifting your time here. You need this time here, all this, and sometimes you may even find 2 people want you at the same time. You're supposed
there are people who know how to play this game, so
yeah, but when you're playing this game, sometimes you'll be there's that time when things will be very tight for you. So for me, I would not encourage the double dealing or having many partners. I would want to say this, Assunta, that because you know what you want, choose that one. You may have people that you are eyeing, like for example, if it's a man, you may have, I think that lady. By far, there are some things you will notice that you feel like you need to know this person, but just focus to one person at a time, and that is going to, because all your energies will be on that particular person, and then you'll be able to zero into that one person, and then if things don't work out while you're dating, then you can be able to close that chapter and then move to another one. And the reason why I'm saying that is because already you know what you want. You're not just guessing, because when you say you're going out with several partners, it's like you don't know what you want. You see, because it's you know what you want. It's not them. You know what you're looking for, and especially for a man, even for a lady. So because you know what you want, then you'll be able to zero in. And there are some things that you will see even before you begin dating someone. Like if you, for example, if it's a lady and you know this particular man, even before you express yourself and say, I would want to have a relationship with that person, or I want to have a relationship with that particular lady. There are some things that you see in that person and you laugh, even before you tell them. So those are the things that now will make you now to zero into a particular person. And then from there now you'll get to know those things that you can't be able to see, non-verbal things. And so for me, just zero into one person, and then because when you're courting, it's okay if things may not be able to work out. What we don't encourage is that when you're married and then you divorce, we don't encourage that. Yeah, so zero into one person, because multiple friendships, they're quite expensive, and sometimes you may end up missing.
What if this person, because this person wants to get an understanding of themselves, they date this one for 1 month, they end the relationship, they start another one with another person, and so dating like that, is it good? Like those are many people now. If by the end of the year probably you have had 12 people.
Now I've heard you to talk about 1 month. Those are 12 people. Let me tell you something, Assunta. I've been married for the last 17 years, but I don't know everything about my wife. There are some times when she will do something, or I'll do something, and then you wonder, is this Bosco? Is this so and so? And so, look at it now. When you're saying 1 month, you can't know someone within 1 month.
Of course.
And actually, that's sort of one of the key things I want to mention, even to the people who are watching this channel. Even when you take someone out for a date, or you spend a day with someone, because that time you are with them, they put their hidden cards down. So that, let's say for example you're dating someone, you have said you're going to date this particular person, person A, for 1 month, and you're going to meet them twice, and you meet with them the first week, then the last week, you'll not be able to know them completely. So you need more time. And that's what I was trying to say. Okay, you may have in your mind your let's say you're 5 people you are eyeing, and you have not committed yourself to them, but then you zero into one person, basically because already you have the key areas that you're looking for. Yeah, you're able to zero in. But
so it's okay to date a couple of people so as to find the one.
Okay, I don't want to say to date people a couple. You may have people that you are eyeing, but zero into one person at a time. And because you see, the moment you go and tell someone, like if it's a man and it tells you date person A, you date person B, you date person C and D, all of them, and then so you find you may not even be able to get the right person, because you're not spending more time with them. But if you have person A, person B, C, you're just eyeing them. You have an idea, these people can be good potential people. But then choose between A and D. Just say, I'm going to go for B, I'm going to go, and then you zero into that person. You may go for 6 months or even 1 year, and you'll be able to see in. Because for you to eliminate between A and D, there are bigger things that you'll be able to see in them, and then you're able to zero into one person. Yeah, but don't go to commitments of dating officially, because if you go to commitment of dating officially, you'll mix yourself up.
Okay.
Yeah. So remember this, Assunta. This is a lifetime commitment.
Of course.
So you need to get it right. Let me tell you something. If you get committed to a relationship and then it goes to marriage and you made some mistakes, you will suffer all along. You will suffer all along. And that's why I normally say that make the right choice, so that now if there are some challenge, because I'm not saying that marriage is perfect, there are many things that come in between, but then I know we'll even be talking about how do you solve those conflicts and such kind of things. Yeah, so it's good for you to zero in, take your time, please don't rush. I know there's that aspect of people rushing, or all your friends have gotten married. Remember, it's your own marriage. Yeah, so please take your time, and I want to encourage us. You may have 10 people you are eyeing, but zero into one. Let the others not know. Don't commit to them. And then if this one doesn't work, then you can be able to close that chapter and let's say, in my list, I began with A. Let me go to B. Zero in. But remember, if you're serious, you may even give it a shot once
and it's okay.
Yes.
So you're saying that do not rush. What is considered rushing? Should you date, or should you be in a relationship for 4 years so as to say, okay, this is the person I want to marry? Or should you, at times it just takes even a couple of months and you're like, this is the person I want as a life partner. So what do you mean when you say do not rush?
When I'm talking about not rushing, I basically mean, first let's begin from the area of pressure from friends. Pressure from parents, because you find your sisters are married and you're just at home there staying with your parents. There's that pressure that comes in, and then you may make a very quick decision. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't be pressurized by your friends, by your parents. Just take your time and you'll be able to get the right person. When it comes to the duration of dating, this one depends. I'll give an example. Myself, I dated my wife for 2 years. And within the 2 years, I was able to know more things about her. She was able to know more things about me. So it depends with the person. I will not say you go for 2 years or you go for 1 year, but it should not be very short. Like if you say 4 months. 4 months is quite very short, because you're not with this person staying together. Because one of the challenges that we normally have, Assunta, is the challenge whereby you're dating someone and you're staying together. Okay, but you see now, staying together comes with its own costs. Now remember, when you stay with someone and you're dating and you're not sure this is the person, likelihood of now making some other advances may also come in. Like for example, this is a person that you love, you're in the same room, you're waking up together, most likely you're more likely to sleep together. You're more likely to begin other things. And so it may mess you up, because assuming this person is not the person that you wanted, like you're with them for 4 months and a child comes in between or something happens, so and then you break that relationship. Now you will realize that now as you move to the other relationship, already there's a child here, there are other commitments. So I will encourage, at least give it like a year. A year will be quite good, so that you don't rush. I know there are people who also may say, okay, 4 months. It will depend with you if you're really very sure. But for me, what I would want to advise, take enough time and not long time, because there are others. I mean, you say you're dating someone for 5 years. What are you doing? Did you have a goal? You need to have a goal. You need to have a plan. Just have a plan. And I normally tell people, every time you're dating somebody, every time you meet, have an agenda. If you say you're meeting to eat, take dinner together, take lunch together, have an agenda. Don't just go and eat chicken there and whatever you're enjoying and then you live there without an agenda. I mean, just discuss something important. Have one agenda that you discuss about your future, you see. And then you can have fun, but then have an agenda, because that is going to help you when you have that plan. And especially when now you feel like this relationship is leading up to something. Remember, you'll not begin discussing about how many children you're going to have, where you're going to stay, and you're not very sure whether this person
wants to actually marry you.
Yes, want to actually marry you. But there are those cases whereby you'll be able to know the way God has created us.
Yeah.
You'll be able to know, I think, the way we're moving on, this relationship is going to lead to marriage. Then from there, you begin now opening up. And then when you get married, how many children do you want to have? Where would you like to stay? Okay, I stay in Mombasa, you're in Nairobi. How do we connect that? How will it work? Can I be able to move to Mombasa, or can you be able to come to Nairobi? You begin having those serious discussions, and then you make a decision, and then you have a timeline. Like you can be able, you've been dating someone for 1 year, and then you begin now discussing. I think if all goes well, we can get married after 1 year or after 6 months, and then from there now, remember, when you're dating somebody and you've reached to an area whereby you feel now this is going to work out, please don't work it alone. Involve people that you trust. Like you can involve your pastor, you can involve a friend that you trust, or someone that you admire their marriage in, and tell them, I have this friend of mine and this is what we're planning to, and they're going to guide you. Like they'll tell you, now if you want to get married, this is what you do. If you want to go and do the introduction to both parents, and they'll be able to advise you. If you're planning to have a church wedding, the pastor will be able to give you the steps. If you're planning to go to the government and get the certificate, it will depend with you. We understand there are different types. I know in this content we are addressing all types of people, so they'll be able to guide you and advise you what are some of the steps to take.
Oh,
Sure.
okay. So there is data that claims that the more partners one has before marriage, the higher the probability that person will be divorced. And as opposed to that person who had fewer partners before marriage. So do you believe this is valid or not?
Now that data proves that I was right from what I shared with you. That's not good to have multiple partners because the likelihood of a divorce is very high.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll still stick to what I said. You may have several people you are eyeing, and when I'm talking about eyeing is someone you are, like for example, I mean, just to define it, break it down. Eyeing is something like you're walking around your lady and there are several shops. Like there are 3 shops and all of them have got very nice dresses. You pass in and you don't talk to anyone, and then you say, hey, that dress is very nice, and then you pass, you see. But then you don't go, you zero into one.
You just don't buy
because
everything.
you don't buy everything because you zero into one, and that's what I was talking about. The other people are selling those dresses, but not even know, because the moment you get in there, they will want to pursue you to buy their product. But you've seen like 3 shops, and then you're zeroing to one. And then you may go there, and then you notice the dress is nice, you love it, but the price is quite high. That is the time now you come and say, I think I saw another dress in another shop, the same. And then you feel like, I can't afford that one, that's quite high. And then you go to the other shop, then you do what? You now get that one has the price is very nice.
And the dress is nice.
That is what I'm talking, zeroing in. But the moment, you can imagine now, you go to the first shop, hey, I'm coming. And then that person is waiting for you. I'm coming, and then you're really torn in between. Actually, if it is in one street, you might even avoid that street because they will see you there.
They're waiting for you.
But you may eye and say, I know that shop. If it doesn't work here, I'm going to go that shop. You see, so I'm talking about eyeing. It's good for you to eye, but now zero into one that you are going to focus and see whether this person, whether they align to what you love, the kind of a husband, the kind of wife you want, and then you'll be able to give it a span of time. And like I've said, chances are if you're committed and you know what you want, you may do it the first time and you get the right person, or the second time. Most likely the first and second, you're going to get the right person. Unless if there are other complications that may come in, you'll be able to get the right person. So in that data, I will still say that like the way the data is said is like the chances of divorce are very high. And the reason for that is because when you're having all these many people, they even mix you up. You'll not know what you want, you see. But the moment you know what you want, you'll be able to zero in, and then it is going to be very easy for you.
And in today's climate, the youth have been faced with a dilemma. I'm sure you're familiar with this. It's either they choose between work or a serious relationship. So how should the youth go about growing a relationship from dating to marriage if their career demands a lot from them?
Yes, I know things are different, and I know people may say, those days, I mean, things are not like the way they are. Yeah, things have really changed. And I'm one of the people that advocate you change with times. And that's the reason why people of my age, there are some of them, even when I share with them, I do content in the YouTube, and then they'll tell me, oh no, That is for the young people, kind of. But for me, I don't care, because actually I'm even saying when I turn 50, I'll do a channel about life at 50, and I know I'll be able to be reaching out to people. And so the key thing here is for you to be able to balance, because you need that job, you need that career, you're in school, and also you need your marriage. Let me tell you something. Between your marriage and your career, I would say you need to work more for your marriage than your career. Because let's say you're employed somewhere, because I know some people who are so much loyal to their work, and they're not concerned about their marriages. And guess what? If they sack you from where you work from, where do you go?
Home to your wife.
To your wife. Can you imagine if you neglected them? Then you'd be in a big trouble. So I think because both of them are so important, it is a way of just balancing. And that's why I said these are the things that you discuss when you're dating. How do we balance? And I know many people are really in a mess because they never discuss those issues. They never said, okay, I'm in school, I have this career. And the moment when you discuss them before, it is something that when when now the issue comes up, you're able to remember what you said. So it's just an aspect of just balancing, so that you can make sure there is some time that has been allocated to the issues of your dating or your marriage, and then things will just flow out seamlessly. It will just happen. So you just need to balance, and just like with the way we normally say, we need to be disciplined. Just bring that discipline in everything, and things are going to work. It may be a bit challenging, but it is just a commitment. Thank God for the for communication. Even when that partner is very far away, you can always say, I'll be calling you every day. If they are very far, just make sure that you call, you engage. Because before, it used to be a big challenge. I mean, you will meet someone for like a month, and then you may meet like after 2 months. There is no phone calls. We used to have landlines, and it was not like nowadays. So just balance between your career and your marriage. It's a lot of work, but you just need to balance and be just committed.
So you balance between your marriage, your career, and the relationship you want to nurture.
Yes.
Because you want it to grow to something bigger. So it's just about balancing.
Yeah, it's just about balancing and that commitment.
Nice. So what signs should we look for while dating? Because we all make mistakes at some point, and we grow as people as we make mistakes. So what signs should we look for in a person while dating?
Now, each one of us has got different things that we want, and different people have got different things they are looking for, the signs they are looking for. Like, I mean, a short lady may say, okay, I want to get married to a tall gentleman, or someone who is a bit more masculine. There's what you want. So I would say the signs depend with what you want, what the man wants, what the lady wants. But apart from that, there are other things that are really common, which they have to apply to every person. Now, apart from the physique, someone who is a bit dark or brown or whatever, but the other things that are common, like now, for example, you're looking for someone who is someone who is honest. I mean, that is very key. You don't want someone who's going to be lying to you. So honesty, someone that loves you, someone that is caring, and these things are not just something that they say. These are things that are practical, and I'm telling you, and I want you to call me one of the days with my wife, so that when I talk about love, because I know people can also be able to say here that the wife is not here.
We don't know her side of the story.
Me, I'm saying it is the practical, because when someone tells you they love you, love is something you do, not something you say. It's something that you do. So if you talk about honesty, and I'm not trying to say that sometimes you may fail, sometimes you may even cheat, but when I talk about cheating, you may lie, for example. But let me tell you, before you lie, it doesn't happen automatically. It's you created that situation that made you to lie. For example, if you call my wife now, she knows where I am. You know,
definitely.
Yeah, she knows where I am. And so, assuming now I came here for this show and I never told her, and she calls me and she asks me, where are you? Because I created a situation that made me to lie. So
you would have to lie.
You have to lie, definitely. I'll have to say, because why did you not tell me some kind of things? So just make sure that you're because when you're so open, you avoid a lot of trouble. You see, so don't put yourself in a situation whereby you're going to lie. And so those are the honesty, someone that loves you, someone that cares for you, and someone that is so much committed, and someone who is hardworking. There are so many other things, and I know the list is endless, depending on the person that you want. So those are the things that you're going to look at, and most of the things you'll be able to see them even when you're like, for example, if you tell someone let's meet at 10, and they show up at 12. Now remember, in the real situation, you'll have a big issue with the time.
Of course.
Yeah, and I've seen people even get into marriage and they say, I didn't know she comes late. But if you dig, when they were caught in telling, she used to come late, but I didn't give it a thought. You see, yeah. So the signs differ with the person. But there are those general things, like when you talk about honest, this one has to be with everyone. When you talk about loving, it's something that needs to happen. So be very strict on the signs that you want and whatever you want, and then you'll be able to follow through. And then there are other things that you work through, like you may find someone they may not be very honest, but you can still help them along the way. And those are the discussions that you build up. You build one person.
Talking about helping them along the way, what about these people who are enclosed or they shut down? When something happens and they just shut down completely and they can't communicate. It's a relationship, of course you have to communicate. What about those people?
Yeah.
How do you help them?
If someone is able to shut down, they will also shut up. That
Yes.
means at some point
They won't talk.
They can't, if they keep quiet, they can't keep quiet forever. They will have to open up at some point. So the key thing is to understand the person, because one of the challenges we have is we are not able to know that we are created different. We are totally different. Actually, myself, I talk a lot. I am outspoken. My wife is so reserved. But one thing is that you need to understand different personalities, because, for example, like there are some times when I will notice my wife she's not interested in talking at the moment. I will not force her to talk. For me, I'm kind of, there's a conflict, let's solve it now. But for her, she needs some time. If you don't understand your colleague, now you may even bring more problem. So it's good to be able to understand the person, and then appreciate different personalities. And then if that person is a bit quiet, just get to learn after how long. If they hibernate, then when they're willing to talk, that's the time you talk with them. So different personalities are really different. That is going to help you to see how do you solve this particular thing. But along the way, you can be able to see it. The other thing, you can also, with the quiet people, engage yourself with an activity that will make that person come out of themselves. Like, for example, if you go for a date, and you're meeting in a restaurant, and that person is a bit quiet, are they likely to open up? No. Look for an activity that is engaging. There's a game somewhere, and that person possibly will be able to open up. So through that, there are some things you're going to be able to see. So make sure that when you're dating, you're able to have different venues so that different personalities are going to come out. Yeah, because there are sometimes you may find every time you meet, you're in the restaurant, you just eat, how is the politics, everything, but you never know this person. They're so much reserved. So have different activities that are going to bring out that person in them, you see.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the contrary, what red flags should we look out for, or should we look while dating, look for?
Again, like I said, there are some things you may also notice, and some of them, when you notice them, they don't mean that you quit. Like you're dating someone and you see a red flag. If there's a red flag, there must be a white flag. So it's good when you see the red flag early.
Yes.
That is very much important. We normally say it's better a broken relationship than marriage.
Yes.
So when you see a red flag, it is now a good opportunity for you to address it.
Yeah.
Because you can be able to solve it. So, I mean, red flag may be kind of like, and let me tell you, someone doesn't have to commit a very big crime for you to see a red flag can even mean someone lying to you. I mean, you agreed on a particular issue, someone lying to you, you notice there's a lack of honesty. This person says they love you, but you don't see it in the way they.
It does not relate.
Yeah, it doesn't relate. You can also see a red flag by how they relate to other people. That is very key, because remember, this person knows that you're courting, and so they are going to pretend more to you. But look at the way they treat other people. You see, that is going to give you a red flag. Like now, you may be with someone who is very nice to you, and then you go somewhere. Let's say, for example, let's say you're dating someone you work together with, and let's say that person is a supervisor, for example, is in charge of some other staff, and then a staff does a mistake at work. The way they handle that staff will give you some red flag. Is okay, the time you're going to be not in good terms.
Yeah, is this how he's going
This
to
is
handle the
yes,
situation?
there's no difference. And so don't confine it to yourself, because some people I have no problem with him.
Yeah.
You have no problem with him or
But,
her because
yes.
you've not had any conflict.
Yeah.
Look at how they are treating their other friends. Look at how they are treating their parents. Look at how they are treating their sisters. Look at all those things. So that's how you'll be able to see that red flag. And also a red flag can also come in because there are those things that you want in a man, those things that you want in a lady.
Yeah.
And so you see, if you see that one is being contravened or it's going, then that's a red flag. Yeah.
Ah, interesting. That is so interesting. Have you ever seen a red flag in someone that you are dating? What did you do about it? Tell us down in the comment section. Did you leave that person or did you fight? Did you continue with that journey? So what is the key of maintaining a tight-knit loving relationship between two partners who are growing older together?
Like people are married already?
You can be married or you can be in a relationship, but you're just growing together. What's the key of maintaining that tight-knit loving relationship?
When you're building a house, one of the key things that where you come from, I know, especially if you come from these big towns like Nairobi or any other town, it will depend, and you see these big flats. The reason why you wake up every morning and you find them, they are still the way they are, is because of one thing, the foundation.
Yeah.
That is the key thing. If the foundation was not good, you wake up in the morning and you say, oh, that building falls down. And if the foundation is not good, definitely that building will go down, even if it is not now. That's why you hear sometimes a building has been there for some time, but then with the time will tell. So the same thing with relationships. Build a good foundation. And building a good foundation is like what I told you in the beginning, that begin it right.
Yeah.
If you see some red flags, solve those flags. I mean, because sometimes
point them out.
Point them out. Because there are sometimes when you see a red flag, you've seen so many flags. The first flag, the second flag, the third flag,
but you're
the
still
10th
like
flag, and you say,
he will change.
No, you see a red flag and you say, no, that's a white. Another flag comes and then you say that flag is a white. Another one comes and that one is a pink. Another one that is yellow.
It's not red to you.
But deep down in your heart, it's a red flag. Let me tell you something. That is a time bomb. And so the key thing, the first thing is a good foundation. Number two, if there is a conflict, agree on a way of solving your conflict. Like I told you guys, when I'm telling you I've been married for the last 17 years, does not mean we don't have conflict. We differ. But one of the key things as you grow old is in your marriage or in your relationship, you get to know this person more, and then create some have your own kind of your own constitution. I mean, like now myself, when we differ with my wife, we there's a way we have agreed, like if we have a conflict, there's a way we sit down and we talk about it. We might not even sleep before we talk about it, or if we are tired, we'll sleep, and then the following day we'll be able to discuss. So we have mechanism for solving a conflict. If you don't have a mechanism of solving the conflict, that person is going to put that conflict, because unresolved conflict still remains there. Another one comes in. So have a way of resolving your conflicts, so that now you can move to the next chapter. When you move to the next chapter, you've already resolved the first conflict. So foundation, solving conflict, and then let me tell you something. Never stop dating your partner. Never. I've been married for the last 17 years. Assunta, I've never told you this. I always date my wife every Friday. Yes. And basically dating your wife, not taking her out or whatever, because when you tell people like that, they say, oh, you may have a lot of money. No, spending time together, even a walk, so that you can, because the moment you stop, because I'll give you an example, and this is my own kind of thinking. Sometimes I think men, we take courtship or relationship or marriage as a project. And so the moment dating, for a man, it's like a project. The moment umeingia kwa box, you get married, that project is done with. And then the man, and that's why you will hear ladies saying, okay, this
he
person,
he was like this, now he's like
it was a project. The project was done. And so that person says, that's my project, I'm done with it. And that's why now the man or the lady now focuses on another thing. Even if it's a project, That's a project that never ends.
That's a lifetime.
It's a lifetime. So if the issue of going out, telling your wife you love her, all those things that make marriage nice. And I'm not saying this like there are not times when you wake up and then you feel like, did I get the right person? I mean,
there are those days.
Yes, there are sometimes when you wake up and you're like a plateau.
You're like,
yes, you're like you look at your partner and you're like, what happened? Did I make a mistake? You see, there are those times are there, and I cannot lie to you. Even my wife can tell you if she was here. Those times are there, but what keeps you is the love that you have. What keeps you is the foundation that you have. What keeps you are those things that you are solving your conflicts. And that plateau doesn't take long. It just goes for some time, and then
it's
just like for the people who are saved, salvation. There are some days when you're kind of, I don't know whether I'm saved, I don't know, but you're saved. You accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. And so there are those times that you plateau, but what keeps you is that aspect of love and those things that you do together. The other thing also, which I've noted, which is very nice, is marrying someone or being in a relationship with someone that is your friend. In Swahili, beste yako. Because beste yako, someone who is your friend, you don't hide anything from them.
You come from work and you're like, this is what's happening.
This is a person who comes and visits you, and possibly you've not made your bed well, and they don't care. I mean, they're okay with it. This is your friend. And so the aspect of friendship and love, they go together. Yeah. So that, because when you talk about love, sometimes when you feel like that love is not there. But what will keep you is that friendship. Yes. So when you blend this together, things will be able to move on. So that is going to help you. Those rainy days when you feel like things are not working out, this is not the right person. I mean, that friendship, your bestie friendship, that is going to keep you. And then the aspect of love, etc. And then when you're in that time when you plateau, don't worry. It is just going. Don't quit. I know there's some people who want to quit.
No quitting.
No quitting. And actually, it is really good for you. Those tough times in your relationship, those tough times in your marriage, they are so good because they make you to move to the next level in your love. Just like the way if you're broke and you don't have money, that's the time you get humbled properly. So that when you get that a dollar, you get $2, you'll be able to take care of them. So let me tell you, we tend to grow very well when things are very tough. Check it out. You grow very well when things are very tough. But when things are okay, sometimes you take everything easy and you don't learn anything. So those tough times are good, but they don't last.
They say tough times never last. Only tough people do.
Sure.
So since you mentioned solving problems, so what are some of the techniques that you use to solve differences and disagreements with your wife?
Now, the first thing is that you must purpose to make sure that you don't create a situation whereby you can have so many conflicts to solve. Don't put yourself in a situation whereby you have so many answers to give. Just ensure that you're living your life rightly, handling your relationship very well. So for me to solve my conflict, like I said, one thing we have agreed is that when we differ, like there are two ways. When we differ, we have a conflict between the two of us. We have agreed that a day should not end before we solve it. So we'll meet, and then we'll be able to solve. And then we have also agreed that all of us, we are equal partners. Because there are some situations whereby you find it's the man who feel like I'm the the Bible says that you're the head, but also your wife can also have a point. So make sure that the playing ground is level, because either of you can be wrong. So one of the ways is solving conflicts as they come. But again, I normally solve it within a day. It may differ, like the way you say there are people who are so reserved. Someone may tell you, I'm willing to talk about that issue. Let's talk about it after 2 days or 3 days. So get to know your partner. There are others who address it there by there. So for me, that's how I deal with it. And then we try so much to make sure that we are so open to each other that we don't create those conflicts. Number two, if there's something that she feels I'm not doing right, she will tell me, I think I'm not happy with this thing, and then I'll tell her sorry, because there are sometimes Assunta, you hurt your partner and you don't know. Actually in your heart you're so okay. You're meeting with friends and you mention something and your partner is so bitter because you mentioned it and you didn't know. So we are very open. If you feel like there's something I've said that you don't love, you let me know. The other thing is get to know your partner very well. There are situations whereby you're somewhere and we call them non-verbal communication, and then you there's something you're doing or you're talking, and then there's a way your wife or your husband will look at you, and then you feel, I think I'm talking too much, or I'm eating too much, or I'm holding my fork in a different way. Find a way, a way that it works. So that's how you're able to solve the conflict. But please solve the conflicts as soon as possible. Don't leave unresolved conflict, because those conflicts are the ones that build up. Actually, when you see people breaking up, when people fighting, they don't fight that day.
It was something building up.
It was something building up, and then it came up. So solve it that day. And then the other thing, Assunta, don't measure on pettiness. Because there are sometimes, and I've been involved in solving conflicts in marriage. Couples coming, and then I talk to them, and sometimes you may notice it's a very simple thing that made them to quarrel. Like for example, the husband says, "Oh, you've put a lot of salt in this food," and they begin arguing, and then the next thing they are fighting, and the aspect was because the wife put a lot of salt. I mean, it was very easy. Just kind of next time, just make sure you don't put a lot of salt.
Rephrase the words.
Yes, yeah. So make sure that you don't get into a conflict, because a very simple thing.
So you should know how to present your. Probably you have something you have to say. You have to know this person will be upset if I say this like this. So let me put it in another way.
Yes, package it very well so that they can and appreciate your partner. Those are very key. Let them be the key people. I mean, there's a way a lady wants to be appreciated. There's a way the man wants to be appreciated. Yeah.
So talking about these small quarrels. Because there are these small things that lead to an argument. So how do you, because you can't avoid them at times.
Yes.
You can't avoid them, and they're there. So how is the best way to go about it?
Like I mentioned also that these conflicts, the small issues will come out. And I also say, let us not be intentional in bringing trouble to ourselves. You should avoid so much, but it's going to come, and part of it will grow us. Part of it will help us to get to know, this is what my partner likes, this is what my partner doesn't want. And they will occur. But what happens is that if a conflict has come, those small things, if they happen, just make sure that they don't happen again. And as you grow in your relationship, like myself, there are sometimes between first year and 5 years, that span there was some conflicts. There were some conflicts. There were some conflicts that will be there, but we'll solve them. We'll solve them. Now at 17 years, those mistakes, we look at each other and we laugh. You remember that you used to mess up like this. You remember that you used to, and you don't. So one of the ways, don't repeat the same, because you can imagine now. Last time we were quarreling about lateness. Every day we are quarreling about it. That can be a big issue. Last time we were talking about putting a lot of salt in the food. So make sure that you don't repeat the same mistake. And then understand your partner. That is very key. I'll give you an example. A short example. I told you, like me, I know there are different types of personalities. Possibly some other time we can discuss about different personalities, sanguine, melancholy, whatever. But I speak a lot. And so my wife understands that. Sometimes when I'm driving, I'll wave at people and they don't wave back. And then my wife will ask me,
why did you?
That person, do you know that one? They never even wave back. I'll say, I don't know them, but they may also know me. And my wife is kind of, how? You mean? When you're walking, sometimes I'll greet people and they'll ask me, do you know that person? I say, I don't know them, but I think they know me. Now, that can bring a big conflict, but because she understands me, we are able to share more. I know my husband, and even sometimes, like if we are going to the market, and from our home to the market is 5 minutes, my wife will insist we leave 10 minutes earlier. And I'll ask her why.
The 5 minutes.
I know you go greeting. I know you go greeting people. Do you know what she has just done? She has accepted me the way I am. Are you getting it? My wife is also serious. She's so serious. And there are sometimes when you're going to different places, you're going for opportunities. There are places where we go to, and when we go there, I'll tell her, go and put that seriousness face. My wife will go there very serious, and things will work out. Me, I'll go there, and within a few minutes, I'm smiling, and then everything doesn't work. We'll go to places whereby it needs someone who talks a lot. She stays back, and then I go in front. I will talk, and things work out. So that is how we are able to.
You complement each other.
We complement each other. But you can imagine if she's against my personality. I'm against her personality. Then that one messes everything up. But remember, I'm not talking about personalities of like those bad things. Like someone is not honest and then you say I'm supporting the unfaithfulness, whatever. No. I'm talking about those things that
qualities that would be beneficial for the relationship.
Sure.
So what shouldn't be forgiven in marriage, even if it's done once by a partner?
Now, from that statement, we don't have something that can never be forgiven. I think everything that you do to your partner, it's very much forgivable. Number one, because you love that person. That is a key thing. If you love that person, you should be willing to forgive them, because today I will mess up, tomorrow it will be you. So the key thing is just you can forgive anything that your partner does. And I normally say just make sure that in your relationship you don't have situations whereby you've grown your relationship in a way that you're not solving your conflicts, you're not in good terms, and then you begin messing up with there are these other things that you do and they seem like unforgivable. Like now, for example, you may find you've been in a relationship or in marriage for 5 years, and then someone just goes out with someone else. You see that one, people even may even say, me, I cannot forgive
that.
Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to say, that solve this small conflict early in a divorce, that you don't reach to that stage.
But there are times that not the small things led to this person going out with another person. So would you still forgive?
Now, my answer to this will still try as much as you can to forgive, because you want the best for this marriage or for this relationship. Remember what we say there is a goal. And because if your relationship is leading to a goal of marriage, or your marriage, you want it to last forever, you do not want that particular thing that you've done or your partner has done, which is bad, because the moment you say, I'm not going to forgive you, then that means that is the end of
the relationship.
I mean, that means it's the end of the marriage. So I would say try and forgive. And when you forgive, things are going to work out. And remember, if you're forgiven, please don't repeat the same mistake again. And avoid those mistakes. There will always be some difference, but don't make the crimes that you're committing, don't escalate them. Because, for example, if it is stealing, you've been stealing 10 shillings in the house. Now, by the time now you're asking for forgiveness because you've stolen money from the bank, that one may be very heavy to be forgiven. Now, so make sure that you don't continue just committing all these crimes in your relationship until now they become so huge. And if you're in a situation whereby possibly your relationship have been there for quite a long time, and there's something someone has done, it may be very heavy, very huge, but I will encourage you to try and forgive. And if it is something that possibly may endanger your life or sad, because there are such kind of situations, like we've had cases of people killing each other, you may want to step aside first to be safe, for your family to be safe, whether it is the husband, whether it is the wife. You're not ending the relationship. Step back a little bit, and then there are channels. If you're within the church, then the pastor and the other leadership will help you to solve the conflict. If it is the parents or people who are close to you, so you can be able to handle it. But it is very much forgivable, because if it says not forgivable, then it will be destroying a relationship, because people will be messing up here and there.
So do you think the people or relationships that don't last, it's due to people not forgiving?
That can be part of it, people not forgiving, and also the foundation that was said before. And like I said, if you decided to get married or to marry, I normally say, shake your head like this and am I ready for this? If you're not ready, don't go for it. Just like, for example, if you say you want to begin a business, you must sit down and calculate very well. Where am I going to get the customers? Where is my shop going to be? How much money am I going to spend? If you just go and just begin like that, you will be shocked. Because the first day you're not going to sell anything, the second day. But if you are prepared, and the first day you don't see a customer, then you'll say, nobody bought today, but they saw the shop. The following day, they will come and ask for the price that they will not buy. But you'll be very happy and say,
at least they asked.
At least they asked. And so for the married, the same thing, or in a relationship, just just make sure that you begin somewhere.
So should we look at love at a pure emotional level, or also a logical one? Should we choose marriage instead of love, or Should we look at it as an emotional level?
When you talk about logical and emotion, for me, I feel the best thing is to merge them together. They must work together because emotions are part of relationship or part of love, and logic, because logic is basically looking at something and asking yourself questions logically, because you do not want to be in a relationship or in a marriage and then you don't reason. Like for example, you have 100,000 and then you say you want to party with the 100,000. I mean, you can be able to say, okay, let's have fun with 10,000, and then the other money let's invest. So for me, I would encourage, I mean, be emotional, I mean, be wild as you can, but also think properly, because that is going to help you. Because you see, marriage involves so many things. Because marriage or relationship involves so many things. When you come together, there are many other things that also come in. There is children, there is development, building your future together. And so if you don't reason, if you're not reasoning, you're just emotional, then you're going to mess everything up. Number two, if it's just logic, just so mechanical, there's no emotion, then there will not be any sweetness. To just be like a business transaction. Yeah, like a business transaction. So there must be that aspect of emotions, logic in it, and then love. When you do this combination,
to bloom to something.
Yeah, something wonderful, something nice. Yeah.
Oh, that's so interesting. So why is it important for the youth to grow their relationship from dating to marriage?
It is very much important for them to grow the relationship from dating to marriage. There are many challenges that are there for the young people currently. But one thing I want to say is that ensure that your relationship begins somewhere and ends somewhere. I have observed so many young people currently who are courting for quite a long time. You find you're courting for, this is just an example, like 4 years, 5 years. And then finally you say, I'm not going to get married to this person. Remember, the first thing that you've done, you've wasted each other's time. Remember, time is moving very, very fast. And if you don't believe it, go and check your photo that you took 5 years ago. Go and check your photo that you took 2 years ago. There's a big difference. Even myself, sometimes I look at my photos and I'm kind of, things are changing. Things are changing. And so, grow your relationship, because you are not going to be a young person forever. If you're 20, add another 20 years, you're going to be 40. If you are 25, just do that math. Time is moving very fast. So be focused. So don't waste each other's time. And that's why I was trying to say that if you're decided to be in a relationship or courtship, have a plan. Say, let's go for 2 years, 3 years, and then have a goal. So I want to encourage the young people, be in a relationship or in a courtship, and then take it all the way to marriage. And then the other thing, Assumpta, is have people who are accountable to you. Because one of the challenges we normally have is you find a young person in a relationship and they don't have anyone they account to. And so they're just hiding somewhere, and then when they mess up, that is when now they'll come looking for advice. And then the people you're asking for advice, they're asking, we didn't even know. And I remember when I was courting with my wife, I didn't mention that. You know, we started, it was kind of, we were meeting at Sunday school. And then that time I was a youth pastor in a big church. And I had my senior pastor. And then my senior pastor noted there was something. You know, I had not told him because I also felt that it's still a bit early. I was trying to know this lady. And remember, I'm dating another pastor. And it's very challenging because I'm also careful with myself. I don't want to mess up, because you mess up and your pastor is a big problem to the church. So I remember my pastor, but when he was calling me, we had dated for like 6 months, 7 months. My pastor called me and asked me, Bosco, how are you doing? You're doing that. And then told me, you know something, Bosco, there are 2 things you can never hide. You can never hide love and you can never hide smoke. And then she asked me, what is happening between you? And then I opened up. And then she told me, oh, that's nice. Thank you for letting me know. It's good. How far have you gone? Do you feel like this can lead to something? I said, yes, actually I wanted to come and share with you, but you went fast. And then told me it's okay. Now, he now told me it's good. I know. Now I'll be able to advise you. And then the other thing he did, remember, I'm in a youth pastor in a big church. So he announced it in the church. Yes. And he did that. I'm not trying to say that they need to announce it. My setting was different. They did that because I'm in a big church, and then he just told the members, guys, so and so is dating with so and so, and let's continue praying for them. So if you see them somewhere taking tea in a restaurant, don't judge them. Just know they are trying to know each other. And so that was very good for me, because I would even find it hard even to take her out within the towns around, because I'm kind of, what will they think? They see me the first time and such kind of things. So have someone who's going to account, especially when not every time you have a friend and then the next day you're calling someone. When you feel this is lead to someone, it can be your pastor, it can be your parent, it can be your sister. You may have that sister that you trust, such kind of thing. Then they will be holding you accountable, be asking, by the way, how are things moving on? Or even sometimes you may have that conflict, and then your sister or your brother will tell you, by the way, this is the way you handle it. And then you grow from there. Then it goes on, and then finally it will lead to marriage. So I will encourage them to begin it well and then end well, but then there has to be an aspect of accountability, people that speak to your life and people that encourage you, and then it will lead. And then if you face any difficulties in between, the people that you trust will be able to speak to you.
But why is it important for them to do so, though?
It is very much important because, number one, like I said, you have the life that you're living now as a youth, and you have a future life. Because you're not going to be a youth forever. I remember there's a time I was a teen, then I became a youth, and now I'm raising my kids. My firstborn is going to Form 3, and so I'm a dad now, and then I'm enjoying that aspect of being a dad. There are some times when my kids will grow, and then those stages of life, you want to live those stages of life well. Currently now you are youth. Enjoy your youth. There are many things that you have fun. Like now there are some things I can't do because of the level of life where I am. Now the level I am, I'm trying to enjoy every part. So it's good for you to begin that stage of courtship, and then you move on to marriage, so that you don't have a situation whereby now your age mates are having their kids, and you'll meet with them. And then you see them, you greet them, and then you're excited. You see they have kids, and then you look at yourself and you feel pity on yourself.
You're not,
because you've been dating everyone, and all the relationship don't lead to something. So you may also want to do what?
Plus, there's a point of loneliness at that point, because probably you're in your 40s.
Yes.
And you have not settled down.
Yeah, and you have not settled down. It comes up, and then you may even go to 50s, and you're there, and then your friends are calling you to go for a dowry payment, whatever. And you're kind of, you should be doing, because they call you call each other. So you don't want to be left in every stage. But don't compete with anyone. Each one of us has got his own life. Your friends may be ahead of you a little bit, but just make sure you take a pace at a time. Unless you have decided to say you just want to live your life, you don't want to get married. There are people who do like that. It's their own choice. You can do that. But if you're planning to do that, please don't take a lot of time.
This has been very, very interesting. Thank you so much for being here with us. We appreciate it once again.
Anytime.
And it's been very insightful. I hope you have learned something from today's segment. It has been so good catching up with him and him telling us about this. If you have not watched our other episode, the other video that he featured on, the link will be up here, so make sure you watch it, and you will gain insight on some other things other than marriage and relationships. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being here. I have mentioned his YouTube channel on the other video, so I will just leave a link down here for you to click it and see what he is all about. You can see what he deals with and everything, and subscribe to his channel. Subscribe to this channel. If you have not subscribed, subscribe. May you please give us your final and last words.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah.
And we'll continue engaging more. Those
Definitely.
topics that we can be able to share with our viewers. And feel free to write in the comment section, especially because now I'm being invited as Sumta channel. You can just make a comment and say, we want Bosco to come and talk to us about this and this. Bring those topics. We'll be able to handle them, whether they're about marriages, courtships, how you can be, or for the young people. I'll be able to come and share the little knowledge I have, and then together we'll be able to build each other. So thank you for inviting me. and looking forward to more time like this so that we can be able to give a lot of insight to our viewers.
Yo, karibu sana. Thank you for showing up. And until next time, comment down below. You've heard him. He said that leave a comment. Whichever topic you want us to cover, we will cover it. Leave a comment down below about this topic or other topics you want us to cover. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.